the waters deep, a silent void in shadowed sleep. His spirit moved above it all. God then spoke and the light appeared. Darkness fled as dawn drew near. Day and night were set apart. Time began its steady chart. First bright morning now was Then God said, let skies arise, stretching wide across the skies. Water parted at His word, heaven's arch was firmly stirred. Second day beneath His eyes, sky above and seas below, at His voice the waters flow. Order grew where chaos stood, and the Maker saw it good. Evening passed and dawn o'erglow. Then God said, let seas unite, let dry land rise into the light. Fields appeared and forests grew, seed and fruit in morning dew. Third day blossom fresh and bright. Earth brought life from root and seed, trees and plants for every need. God beheld the living land, formed and shaped by His command. Morning rose on growing fields. Then God spoke, let lights now shine, signs for seasons, days and time. Sun to rule the golden day, moon and stars to guide the way. Fourth day turned by His design. Lights above the world were cast, turning time both first and last. Sun by day and stars by night, heaven burning bright with light. Morning followed evening cast. Then God said, let waters teem, living creatures fill each stream. Birds took flight across the air, wings were beating everywhere. Fifth day woke a vibrant dream. Fish would swim and birds would soar, life would fill the sea and shore. God then blessed them all and said, multiply and fill the spread. Morning came with life in store. Heavens and earth were finished whole, the stars above, the seas below. The work of God was fully done, creation stood in ordered glow. The seventh day He blessed with rest. Rest now falls on earth and sky, quiet winds go drifting by. All that lives and all that grows, from the Maker's goodness flows. Before the fields had filled with green, before the crops began to rise, no rain had yet touched the ground, no hands had tilled beneath the skies, but mist rose up to water earth. Then God formed man from dust and clay, the soil of earth within His hand. He breathed in breath of living life, and man arose at His command, a soul alive upon the land. Was written in the heart. The Lord then planted Eden's garden, where flowing rivers crossed the land, and there He placed the man He formed among the trees at His command, where life and wisdom both would stand. The tree of life stood in the midst, and knowledge deep of wrong and right, for rivers flowed from Eden's heart, through lands of gold and shining light, a garden bright before the Lord. Garden bright with rivers wide, life and wisdom side by side, every tree and flowing stream, part of God's unfolding dream. The Lord then spoke unto the man, to guard this garden and its ground. Eat from every living tree, but one alone is not allowed. The tree of knowledge you must leave. Then God declared, it is not good for man to stand and live alone. So beasts and birds were brought to him, each living creature to be known. And Adam named them one by one. Yet none among the beasts of earth a partner for the man could be. No living soul stood equal there, no heart to share his destiny. And still the man remained alone. Then deep sleep fell upon the man, a sacred stillness filled the air. From Adam's side God formed a woman, with gentle wisdom and with care. The man awoke and saw her there, and joy arose within his voice. Bone of bone and flesh of flesh, in you my heart and soul rejoice. A partner made to stand with him, side by side beneath the sun, two made whole where once was one. In the garden hand in hand, life begins by God's command. Naked stood the man and wife, unashamed in perfect life. Peace beneath the Eden sky, while the quiet winds pass by. A serpent moved through Eden's shade, more sly than beast the Lord had made. He whispered low to tempt the heart, did God forbid each tree apart? Or may you taste what grows inside? The woman said, we freely feed from every tree God lets us eat, but one alone we must not try, the tree that holds both wrong and right, or death will come the day we try. serpent spoke with honeyed breath, "You surely will not fall to death. For God knows well when fruit you take, your eyes will wake, your minds will wake, and you'll be like the gods who know." She saw the fruit was fair and wise, a pleasing sight before her eyes. She took and ate the shining seed, then gave it to her mate to eat, and both received what none should know. Their eyes were open, shame was born, the innocence of dawn was torn. They stitched together fig leaf thread to hide the fear their hearts now bred, and walked in shadows through the grove. The Lord drew near in evening air, they heard his steps and hid in fear. "Where are you now?" the Maker cried. "I heard your voice and fled to hide, for naked shame has filled my soul." "Who told you so?" the Lord replied. "Have you from that forbidden tried?" The man then spoke with trembling breath. "The woman gave the fruit of death, and I received it from her hand." The woman said, "The serpent lied, he drew my trust and turned my mind." The Lord then spoke to serpent low, "On dust you crawl where once you strode, and enmity shall rise from this." To woman now shall sorrow grow, in pain new life the womb will know. Your heart will turn towards your mate, yet power and strife will shape your fate, and longing shall not cease from you. To man the ground is cursed for this, through thorns you'll rest your bread to live. By sweat you'll eat till life is done, for dust you are and dust become. The soil receives you once again. Then Eden's gate was closed behind, a flaming garden, burning sign. The tree of life no more to claim. Exiled hearts and silent shame, and loss lay heavy on the wind. Now Adam knew his wife again, and Cain was born of dust and men. Then Abel came in later days, two brothers raised in separate ways. One worked the soil, one kept the pen. Before Cain answered cold with hardened breath, am I the guard of Abel's steps? Yet blood cried out from earth's deep plea. The Lord declared the ground now cursed, no harvest rising from the earth. A restless wanderer you shall roam, no field nor shelter left for home. The soil rejects the hand that cursed. Then Cain cried out in trembling dread, my punishment is worse than death. For any man who sees my face will strike me down and take my place. Yet God set mercy as a mark. So Cain went east from Eden's gate, a wandering soul beneath this fate. He built a city in that land and named it for his newborn son. The line of Cain began its state, but Adam's line was not yet gone, for Eve would bear another son, and Seth arose where Abel fell, a living sign that hope still dwells, and men called on the Lord again. When God made man in his own sight, he formed them in his image bright. He blessed their days and gave them breath, and Adam lived through years of depth, till Seth was born to carry life. 800 years rolled slowly on, with sons and daughters growing strong. 930 marked his span, then dust returned the first made man, and time moved on through Seth's long line. When Seth had lived 105, Enosh came forth and breathed alive. 800 years his house would grow, with sons and daughters here below. Then Seth's long days came to their close. Enosh lived on through 90 years, till Kenan's life at last appears. 800 years his children spread, but time still walks where all are led, and Enosh slept beneath the earth. Kenan reached 70 in his days. Mahalo walked the earth's long ways. 800 years his house would stand, with sons and daughters through the land. Then Kenan's breath returned to dust. Mahalo lived 65, and Jared then began his life. 800 years the line went wide, through sons and daughters multiply. Then Mahalo's days were done. When Jared reached 162, Enoch walked beneath heaven's view. 800 years his house would grow, yet time still turned its steady flow. And Jared's life at last was still, but Enoch walked with God above. 300 years in faith and love, and when his earthly path was through, the Lord received him from the view, and Enoch was no more on earth. Methuselah then walked the land, his years stretched long by heaven's hand. 969 his stay, till time at last his breath repaid. The longest days of mortal man. When Lamech lived 182, a son was born the earth once knew. Noah, he said, will bring us rest from toil and ground by current suppressed, and hope began to rise again. The years marched on through dust and leaf, through birth and life and silent death, yet through the turning age and span, a promise moved from man to man, and time still walked the earth with us. When men increased upon the land, and daughters rose on every strand, the sons of God reached out their hand and took their wives as they had planned, while wrong spread wide on every hand. The mighty rose renowned by name, and giants walked the earth the same, but every heart was bent to shame. Their thoughts were dark, their deeds were flame, and violence fed the growing blame. The earth went wrong, the earth went wild, corruption spread from child to child. What once was pure turned harsh and vile. God looked with grief a little while, and saw no truth beneath the sky. Saw decay, that all had turned from holy way. Their hearts were set on sin each day, and all the good had drained away, till grief in God would not delay. But Noah walked a faithful earth was thick with rising death, with crooked hearts and poison breath, but grace still lived.
And God said, Noah, come inside. Bring all your house and do not hide. For you alone walk true and right. Now gather all as I decide. The flood is near, the day has cried. By sevens clean and pairs the rest. The beast drew near at God's request. From field and sky they found their place. They entered in by kind and step, and Noah led them in with haste. Get to the ark, the hour is near. The sky grows dark, the end is here. Hold to His word and do not fear. Warning stands, the way is clear. Get to the ark, the flood is near. Then all went in as God had said. The living came where they were led. The doorway closed above their dread. God shut them in the world outside, and silence fell where all had fled. The fountains broke, the heavens poured. The rising deep began to roar. The waters climbed from shore to shore. They swept across the earth in force, till hills were seen on earth no more. Inside the ark they felt the sway. The wood groaned hard through night and day. The world they knew was washed away, yet God preserved them through the gray, and bore them safe through storm and spray. The old world sank beneath the weight. No hand could turn, no strength could save. But Noah wrote what God would break. Shut in by God remembered Noah there, and the ark rode waters bare. Then he sent a moving air, and the flood began to spare as the deep gave back the land. Day by day the waters fell down from crest and out from the swell. Then the ark came safe to rest on the heights that God had blessed in the hills of Ararat. After wrath and after rain, God brought hope to rise again. After sorrow, after pain, mercy spoke and did remain. Life would fill the earth again. Noah sent the raven wide over wave and broken tide, and the dove went forth to fly, but she found no place to bide, so she turned and came inside. Then he sent the dove once more, and she flew from door to door. When she came at evening light, olive leaf within her bite, no one knew the flood was o'er. Then the Lord said, "Leave this place, go and fill the earth in grace, bring forth life in every space, walk beneath my faithful gaze, multiply upon the Noah built an altar there, lifted thanks with solemn care. Then the Lord declared his plan: I will keep the earth by hand while the seasons still remain. Seed and harvest, cold and heat, summer's flame and winter's sleep, day and night shall keep their course, held by mercy's faithful force, and the earth shall breathe in peace. God blessed Noah and his seed, fill the earth in word and deed. All the beasts shall fear your lead. I give the flesh for all you need, but do not eat with lifeblood still. Life for life I will require. Man bears forth my image higher. Who sheds blood shall face my fire. Go be fruitful, rise and sire. Fill the earth and multiply. In the cloud he set the bow, sign of mercy all would know, covenant above, below.
skies. I will look and call to mind covenant with all mankind, and with every living thing. Shem and Japheth took a cloth, walked in backward, measured soft, covered him and turned aside. They would not behold his shame, but gave honor to his name. Shem in house and creep, Japheth brought intense wood Noah lived and Noah died. Cursed it was sealed in time. Then the wrath had passed beyond. Still remained in man, and the story carried on. These are Noah's sons by name, Japheth, Ham, and Shem the same. From their line the nations came, after flood and after rain, as the earth was filled again. Japheth's children spread afar, past the coast and harbor bar, clan by clan and star by star, they went out where the peoples are, by the sea and lands afar. Ham's line rose in heat and sand, built their homes across the land, strong in city, throne and hand. Kingdoms grew at their command, wide across the burning land. Time moved on and lines ran wide, tribe by tribe and side by side, tongue by tongue. The people's tide, land by land, the earth replied, as the word spread far and wide. Shem's line carried age and name, from his house the peoples came, line by line they spread the same, eastward where the old roads ran. Still the earth was filled with clans. These the families, these the lands, these the giants with
afraid.
So the old world passed away, and the new world found its way, name by name and day by day.
History walked out from that day, and the earth received its all the earth had speech so same, one clear word and one shared name. Then they came to Shiner's plain, there they chose to build and claim, we will make our name renowned. Come make brick and burn it hard, build the city, raise it far, lift a tower toward the stars, lest we scatter near and far. We will stand as one alone,
Hand by hand and stone by stone, voice by voice and tone by tone, man would build a name his own, high and bright and set in throne, reaching where he should not roam.
Then the Lord came down to see, city, tower, unity, if as one this now shall be. Nothing stayed in this decree, so he broke their speech apart.
Tongue from tongue was torn away, word from word no longer stayed. They could not in union labor,
So the people lost their way and were scattered through the earth.
thus the tower lost its claim. Babel was the given name. There the Lord confused their speech, set them far from prideful reach,
Scattered wide across the land.
English, Francais, Español, Deutsch, العربية, عبريت, Hindi, Chakman, Nihongo, Kiswahili.
Then the noise of many ceased, and the striving tower decreased. Now the light of Shem is traced, age by age and name by name,
Till the promised line draws near.
time moved on through Shem's descent. Years were named and years were spent. From that line the story fed, narrowed down through time's intent,
Toward the child not yet revealed.